Camera's too small and the light's too big. I only put it on 30% because I want too bright as like an option to record you. I have the small light. Put the gel in like that. What? Wasn't expecting that. Here is the light itself. I like that it came in a foam case. We've got a little aluminium, depending on where you are. We've got a little ball here. So, okay, I'm glad that you get it with that. You've got a type C, yes. And here's the light itself. Ooh, actually feels quite good. Nice weighty. Ooh, look at that. It's nice and firm. That's ribbon. It's like a mobile phone. That's a great size. Okay, so if you plug it in while charging, you can actually have another USB out to power something else. That's quite handy. It's got a tripod mount as horizontal and portrait. Horizontal and portrait. What? Wasn't expecting that. Oh, excellent. It's actually a spinny. It's got a spinny on it. I like that. I don't like having little buttons in the back. Okay, so what else we got? It's not like a spinny, it's like a little spring loaded. Look at that. Okay, this is intense. So I have turned off my main light. Let's go to the mode, not flash. Okay, there. First up, let me screw this on the bottom. Obviously, it'll be harsh shadows. And the reason it's going to be harsh shadows is because it's a small light. So the good thing about the big box is it's soft. If you do that, it's like a good way of telling where it looks. See how the shadows move around your face? You want it somewhere like kind of there, but then you want a second light to fill in like that. The mic's probably creating shadows, but yeah, that's there. Like that. So coming back to the normal light on the box here, and that was the Photolex light. The good thing here is you can plug in a power bank to power it if you run low, and you've got an extra USB which makes up for what it's using, so you can power something else off this, like charge your phone or something. So it is more or less the same size as a phone, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit thicker size. If you're looking for a nice little light to be portable and easy to carry and have RGB, you've got yourself a Ulanzi light here now. What is this good for? Well, firstly, it's got a good battery life. I've been testing it for a while and I'm like, you know what, that does quite well. It's got RGB. How does that RGB work? Well, let me just give you a quick 100% power, 92% of color gamut. So let's go down a bit to half power maybe. So I've got about halfway, 50%. Nice easy dials in the back, type C charging. You've got a cold shoe because it doesn't communicate with your camera. You can turn it off and on here and it keeps the last color that you set it to, which is a good thing for me because I like to set my background lights at a certain temperature and keep them there. So right now that is a green color, 50% power. What you want to do, so as that moves across, you can do power there versus the color temperature, and you can see the hotter it is, the number will change accordingly. So let's go up a bit now. That's green, slowly going through the deeper cyans and the colors. I want to get something like a ready. Let's get a bit ready. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Pinky ready. Again, it's half power. That gives you extra pop. I would use these to light up things like in your background, depending on what you're using. I like to use a little tripod to be able to adjust how and where it points. So let's do that. And now let's add it to the background and see what it does. So that's a single light. I only put it on 30% because I want it low powered. I don't want it to overpower the other light I've already got. If you're using multiple lights, like for example that green, if I put this too high, it'll just make everything that red color. So overall, quality wise, it looks nice. You've got a nice control on it, and the best thing about this is you can mount additional lights to make it bigger. So if you have another one like I do, you can mount it and then have 2 or 3, and like kind of, if you have 3 of those, you can do a 3 light setup. And then if you want one powerful light, put them all together and you got one big powerful light. When it comes to little portable light options, there's those out there. This one is a Pixel. Okay, straight away you get the light. Oh, that feels quite. I like the stickers already on there. You don't have to stick something on. Okay, it's got type USB-C. This feels like a good substantial weight, and the quality is quite nice. And it's got actual tactile dials, and it's got 33% battery life. Okay, good. Indented set button. Flash. Epilepsy. If you have epilepsy, look away now. Kelvin. 85,000K. Battery is 32,000 milliamp hours. I don't need flash. Okay, there we go. Nice green, match my background color. It's quite bright. 100%. Okay, that's not actually too bad, but the good thing about it is, let me turn it off. Oh yes, it got a bag. Got a bag. That's nice. But that swivel with that, I want to do this. So here's the camera. Okay, here we go. Okay, so oh wait a minute. So I screw in the bottom of the camera first, tighten it there, and then it's so fiddly. Okay, there, facing the correct way. Like that. Camera's too small and the light's too big. Look at that. And the other way of doing this would be touch my camera through the fence. Let's do it as if we were, okay, there. And then if I do that, okay, horizontal or vertical is an option. Well, the idea here is it's a portable live streaming, right? So it's not going to be used for this purpose like this. Because obviously if you're vlogging like that, you could do it, but that's very awkward. Actually, no, it's alright. Like that. Just like that. I don't know about that. But that's not the intended purpose. The reason I got it is supposed to be that. Okay. Too bright. The thing with these lights is, if they're too small, I mean surface area small, they can be as powerful as you want, but they're going to be too harsh, so they give a lot of shadows. The idea with this is bright light but big surface area, which like a big octagon softbox like I'm using here. You probably can't tell that I've got a really big light here, whereas if I had this, it's like blatantly obvious that I'm being like blinded, and it's like, but it's powerful. Size wise, is that too over? I think that's too over manufactured. I'm not keen on that being too big. But if you're looking for good quality lights, LED panels, small portable, these are ones you will see. I like the quality of those there. The Ulanzi light is a good little option for you. It comes in a box, you get a little guide, you get a charging cable with it, just enough to be able to charge it off your laptop or a battery bank. Not enough cable there if you want to plug it in and have it charge continuously while you're using it. Oh, wait a minute, feels nice. Now, overall quality wise, it's got a nice little screw option here for the top to mount it. Now, if I was using it on my camera like this, I could just simply do this, and that looks actually quite snazzy and smart. So for vlogging purposes, you can hold it in your hand just like this, and that would work nicely as like an option to record you. And if you want to use it independently, you can use it as a stand or put it on a small tripod. Power wise, you've got your options in the back. You can turn it on and you'll see it's quite nice on a low setting. You can put the power increase in increments there, and then you can actually set a button there for medium setting as well. Oh, it's 2000 milliamp hours. Type-C charging. Hey, wait a minute. Okay, wait up. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that to be as. So remember, with small lights, you don't want a harsh light. So sometimes less is more. For example, okay, that's off. That's one. So you'll notice now that slight pop, that versus. So see, it just kind of gives you a bit of definition to the face. So it's very important to have lights and set them up in a way that it works. It's not that thick. It is thicker than my other light that I use. So we should get some good usage out of this. Overall, feels like a well-built quality item, and you can use a little tripod. And if you wanted to position it in like an odd place or something, you could just have it power you. And what I'm going to do right now, number one, I'm going to turn off my big extreme octagon grid light, and I'm going to power myself with these two small lights just to see how it looks. So let me do that. So as promised, I've turned off my big usual light and I'm using the small light to power us. So how does that work? On the monitor, I have the small light, which is about arm distance away. So that's like a main light. And then down here, I've got a secondary light, which I'm using as a little bit of a fill option. So it's not as good as the big light. However, if you play about with it for a little bit, I think I could make it work. Let's go to full power. There's full power. So if that's there, and then let's do a little bit of a fill from possibly there. How does that look? Do I look a bit more defined? But yeah, I'll switch back to the normal light, but I wanted to give you an idea of how well it works. Let me switch them all off so you can see how dark it actually is here. So let's switch this off. That. And now let's switch off this light. Just like off there. So you'll see actually The light did have decent amount of power considering, so that gives you an idea of the power and the capacity of smaller lights. This one is by Ulanzi, and I'm impressed. I'm going to charge it, see how long it actually lasts. If I get 2 hours out of there continuously on, that would be quite a good option, because my live streams tend to last about 3 hours or so. LED video light, so it comes straight in a box. These are the interesting bits here. When you're doing lighting, you want RGB colors. So look at that, you get a nice selection there. And then we've got a little mounting hot shoe to attach it to whatever you need to attach it to. We'll do a couple of testings there. Is it USB type C? Yeah, type C. And here's the actual light itself. Now this is interesting. You'll see here it's a bit of a dip. There's no actual button, but you have to actually just hold it down and then it'll come on all of a sudden. And then, okay, here we go. You can just tap the setting. Okay, so let me show you this from the front view. There's the light, quite powerful actually. Okay, so then there, low, high setting, and then low again, and then high, and then off. So it's very basic. It's got a battery in there, color temperature 6500K, and how would that look on a camera? Let me put it on a camera and show you. So you basically attach this little bit on the bottom, screw into the light. So now we're going to put that light onto the camera just like that and screw it down. I'm quite happy with that. It's a small light. It depends what your purpose is for your lights, remember. So ideally there would have been good to have 2 locking nuts. Let's try some of the gels. So with these gels, what tends to happen is turn it off and then you can just put the gel in like that. Now we're talking, people. Look at that. I like that. I didn't think it'll have such a big impact. See, look at that. So if that is in a background, that does look quite funky. It's like a retro lighting. I should have had 4 of them in different colors. See, it gives you a bit of a retro pop feel. You've got the option there for easy adjustment. You can simply loosen it up or you can point that wherever. So I'll put that in the front there. That is ready as light. So we've got one little light here, just a bit of fill there. And let's put on a little bit of ambient greenness. Too much, just less. So now the thinking behind this setup here is a little bit of green or even yellow. Put yellow in there. That's a nice option. Or you can mix and match. You can have 2 to give you like a bit of a off color, if that makes sense. But that lighting is pretty good. It's an Andoer rechargeable light. You can see it comes in a little box. Oh, okay. Andoer. So you can see that there. Now if you compare that to my hand, that's the sizing of it. It's got a little mount there. We're going to put it on a camera. Let me show you it in comparison to a mobile phone. That's a mobile phone. There it is. So that is a nice little option there now. Off. Holy moly, mate. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so 1, 2. There's 2 brightness settings. It comes with a little cable. USB type C with a USB. You can charge it. So I'm going to do some testing with this. I am going to show it to you right now and take it to a dark environment. I'm going to put it on. So let's have a look at what that looks like. Okay, so what I've done, I've purposely turned off all the lights here just to give you an idea of how powerful this light is. That's setting number 1. That's setting number 2. So if it's right in front of me, that's the power. If I go down a setting, that's half power. And I'm holding it arm distance out. If you're doing vlogging or something, that might be quite helpful. It's very bright, I'll be honest with you. So for a small light, you saw there, you saw what it was capable of. So if I was to do it here, you can see on my background. We'll put it on top of the camera and do another test with the camera as well. So you could have a number of cameras. Here's a camera I've got. You'll see here. I'll put it on that camera. Let me show you a front view. That is actually a very sweet setup for a small handheld shot. I'm very impressed, I'll be honest with you. Look at that. So if I'm doing vlogging, that's bright. That's number 2. You put it at number 1. That's number 1 setting. That would work very well.